That's weird. What's up, Advertising Week? How are you? Are you good? Are you good? Come on, let's go. Every year, we gather to do the same stuff. But I think this panel is actually, I think, much more interesting. And I think that the concept is probably something that is, I think, going to be transformative. And more importantly than that, I think is something that pays homage to where I think the space is going. And of course, I had absolutely nothing to do with it, but I get to proselytize about it. But why don't I let the panelists introduce themselves? I know some of them need no introduction. Cheryl and Jimmy, I'm sure the advertising world knows, two of the greats, but we'll still let them share a little bit of themselves. But why don't you start off?
Yeah, my name is Dave Metcalf. I'm not an ad legend, but I'm sitting next to one. But I am the co-founder, one of the co-founders and the chief creative officer of AdLegends.ai.
We're going to talk about what AdLegends.ai is in a quick second. But, you know, I've had the chance to work with Jimmy. I'll tell you a funny story. Jimmy came to me and said, I think it might have even been at Advertising Week. He said, Bonin,
Was it advertising?
It was, right? He said, Bonin, I want to drop somebody out of the sky with no parachute on and no wingsuit, and they're going to land safely on the ground. Will you do that with me? I said, yes. I went back to Mondelez and said, we're going to drop the. They said, no. 4 years later, we did. And that was literally the last thing I ever did in my career at Mondelez. At Mondelez. We've done a lot more work since then, but at Mondelez, I was like, we dropped the guy out of the sky, we're dropping the mic. But Jimmy, I mean, that Nike, I mean, go ahead, talk about just a little bit who you are.
First of all, when Dave says he's not a legend, for those who know the Real Beauty Dove campaign, he's one of the cats behind it. So, yeah.
Right.
I'm the chairman, CEO, and chief creative officer of Amusement Park Entertainment, and that's the company that had my man, you know, it was a session just like this, just like he said. Did a lot of Nike work, helped convince LeBron and Kobe to come to Nike, although the Zeros did more than I did, and G'd up Gatorade. So if you like the G, I did it along with my team. If you hate it, we had nothing to do with it.
I'm Steve Metcalf. I'm actually Dave's slightly older brother, 5 minutes older.
I was going to say, you guys are 12. Yeah.
And I'm not from the advertising industry, but I am from the technology space. And so I'm the co-founder. I'm also the chief AI officer of AdLegends.ai. And my job is to sort of figure out how we translate what an agency does, what creatives do, leveraging the power of AI to make it all come happen. So that's what I do.
I'm Cheryl Berman. I have my...
Cheryl.
Jimmy, I love these people. I mean, that's why I'm here. I mean, seriously.
And you just landed from Chicago. And by the way, I must say, you look beautiful.
Oh.
So there we go.
People
Let's go.
are really nice people.
Well, what I lack in intelligence, I make up in compliments.
I started at Leo Burnett when I was 21 years old. I didn't really even know what they did. They asked me if I had a book, and I said, yeah, I'm reading this other stuff at midnight. Anyways, from there, I spent about 30 years and ended up with Leo's old job, which, you know, every time something went wrong, I was like, what would Leo do? He didn't do anything because he was dead. But it was a great opportunity, and it was a great time in advertising history, and that's what I think legends are kind of about. I mean, we had the resources and money to kind of do anything we wanted. I hate to say it, but we did. And I worked on Disney and McDonald's and Nintendo and just Altoids and just amazing, amazing brands. And now I have my own little company called Unbundled. And as opposed to being at the top of the food chain, I'm a copywriter again, and that's really where I want to be. So it's been great. But well, you learn a lot about Ad Legends and what that means to a company, and also what it means to a copywriter.
Well, and I'm going to ask you to just talk about Ad Legends in 2 seconds. But, you know, it's interesting because you just said that. I think that sometimes we forget that the power of advertising actually is in the copy. And that is what encapsulates an idea, and that's what allows you to actually get somebody to understand. And that's probably the most powerful thing. The visuals and all that piece come along with it, but the idea is conceptualized in that copy. And all the best work that I've worked on with Jimmy has always been, he finds a way to tell you the story, and you're like, okay, I get it. Let's go. Anyway, and you guys are now capturing the minds of some of the best legends in the world. So do you want to talk a little bit about you are?
So I came from Ogilvy. I spent many years.
And I apologize, you are also AdLegends. I'm just reading what it was written for me, people. That's unfortunate.
AdLegends Light. I worked about 20-some years at Ogilvy and left it about a year ago. And about the same time, Steve had left his company. He was in the tech space. And we just started talking about, and Steve can tell you himself, but he's pretty much the biggest AI geek that anyone would ever know. So he started saying, why don't we create an app that mimics the entire ad agency process, everything that an Ogilvy or a Leo Burnett or a BBO would do. And I'm like, you can do that? And he said, well, 6 months ago I couldn't have, but now I can because of the tools. So I go, well, if that's going to happen, then the most important thing is that it needs to start with a big idea that's grounded in a very strong strategy. So that's the first thing we did. We started building it, and the first part of it was the actual strategic creative brief part of it. And then Steve said, we'll call it Ad Legends. And I'm like, well, if we're going to do that, we're going to need some actual ad legends. So we started hunting for ad legends, and we've got more than just Jimmy and Cheryl. Rick Boyko just came on. We've got... Actually, I'll just go ahead and...
Okay, sure.
I don't know if you guys can see. This is our legend panel right now. They're all featured legends on our app. We've got Cheryl, Jimmy, myself, Rick Boyko, Vince Cook, who's in the audience, Stefan Poster, Ned Crowley, Lewis Williams, and Janet Champ. And we're bringing
Can I jump in on that?
Yeah, you go for it.
Rick, former president of Ogilvy. Janet Champ, if anybody remembers If You Let Me Play for Nike, wrote that. Lou, that was my mentor. And you just, Altoids with Stefan and Cheryl. So you got some bangers up there. Sorry, I couldn't go over everybody.
I asked to join, but they said, we're looking for large language models.
But no, we're talking to many more. Actually, Chuck Porter is going to come on very soon.
From Crispin Porter, Bogusky.
So that's our current featured ad legends on our app. And I suppose I could keep talking about it, or we could just show it.
Let's go.
What I would like to do is, we have a video. We can't quite do a live demonstration, but it's a video that will pretty much explain how it works, and we can kind of talk through what's happening as we play it.
Can you guys see it? Is it playing?
Okay.
So we decided to go ahead, since we're all here at Advertising Week New York, advertise Advertising Week New York. So what it does is there's a little type field. You just type in whatever you want to advertise. And then it'll take you to a screen that says, a legendary idea starts with a legendary strategy. And what you do is describe a little bit more about what it is, what you like about it. If there's a website, you enter that. And then it goes out, studies everything it knows about Advertising Week, and comes back with 3 potential strategies.
Are you remembering all this? You can't see it, can you?
I can't see it, but I can.
You want to walk over there?
So now it's inputted the strategies into a creative brief, which is a pretty in-depth creative brief. It gives you an overview. It gives you a target audience breakdown. It gives you a deep dive into the unique selling point. It even gives you competitive and market differentiation strategies, how to position yourselves against competitors. It even gives you like an emotional reason why people would like this brief. And it even gives you key message, timeline, deliverables. And then you pick your creative. Now comes the fun part, you select your creative team. So I selected myself, I'm putting myself to the test, and I selected Cheryl and Jimmy. And they're gonna go off and come up with 3 high-level ideas based on the brief they were just given. And usually what we do, we would not scroll through them as fast as you're probably seeing them here. We would stop at each one. Each one has like a description. But I decided to, for the sake of this, choose, here, now I can see it. So we're skimming through ideas right now. Each one has a a visual to say, this is the idea that I liked. It's called Don't Watch, Deal. And this is Jimmy's idea. So now we'll go to a campaign page where we can start to see, these are ad-like objects, but it shows you all the headlines that it came up with based on that idea. So Jimmy, these are your lines. Then
I'm a genius.
it can quickly take them to
You're a
digital
A legend, yeah.
Yeah.
digital ads. They're ready for every main platform, and you can even upload them to your social accounts. Now, Jimmy is going to write a manifesto for his idea, and here it is. And the manifesto that it creates is different than any other manifesto you would normally find if you used an AI tool. It breaks it up into 3 different sections, ends with a rally cry. You can write press releases instantly that can be sent out to the wire, all ready to go. It's got a radio feature. You can pick the length, the style,
Just added that, right?
and it'll generate a script, and get ready, it'll actually record it for you. This might be kind of loud.
They sold you a world connected by glass and light, where leverage is lost. Is this all there is? Endless screens? No, the real deals happen in the room.
So that's just a taste of that. You can do activations based on budget. These are brand activations. It gives you a hero one, amplifiers, quick hits, even suggests how much those might cost and timeline. It writes blogs, and again, this is all based off the idea that we fed it from Jimmy. It's got keywords for search, and that's it. And we are a subscription-based service, so we're actually free to nonprofits and to students and anyone else that's doing something good. And I'll announce something later about that. And that's how we're structured. And that is Ad Legends. And if I had more time, I'd show you more. I'll end with the one I was going to show, which is Kodak. Like, it can help brands in trouble. It can help brands that are almost non-existent. So we did a whole campaign on that, but that's for another day. And I'll stop there.
Come on, guy. I'm nervous to ask you, Steve, because I'm nervous about what's in your mind. Like, that is so. But talk a little bit about kind of when you look at what we just saw. Is that the beginning? Is that the middle? Where is that?
I always say today is the worst AI will ever be. And so what you just saw is months of development that has been accelerated because of AI itself. This platform, as Dave said earlier, couldn't have existed even a year ago. It'd be hard for it to exist even 6 months ago. But I'd say we're very much at the beginning, but it feels like we've been 7, 8, 9 years at work, even though it's literally been about a year since this all began. And we've got quite a few people using the platform. All different types of users are coming to us. We've got agency users, we've got creatives that just want to boost their own creative firepower when they can't come up with a big idea. It sparks ideas. We have people that are running their own brands on the platform, solopreneurs. It's amazing to see it grow and develop. And the key ingredient, that we've sort of touched on is anybody can go to ChatGPT or something like it and come up with, you can have a session, with ChatGPT. And sometimes if you're tired, it's not feeling you and it's just not following your direction. What we've done is really kind of structured this AI platform the way an agency would operate. So there's agents or experts at every part of this app that do these things and take on specialist roles, and they all feed off of the same thing. They feed off the strategy, the brief, and the campaigns that ultimately come out of this. And but the secret ingredient really are the people, the legends themselves. So you can go to AI and you can say, act like a famous advertising person. Usually it will pick David Ogilvy as your number one choice. So it always goes to the 2 or 3 that it knows about in its latent space. What we're doing is injecting personas or avatars of the actual legends that are on our roster. And they've all licensed their personas or creative personas to us, and they've all become investors in AdLegends as well. And that's what really makes this different. So from a creative automation platform, we haven't seen anything quite like it. Most people in the ad industry, or ad tech or AI, are running towards execution. They're running into sort of how fast can we produce 1,000 variations of a UGC video. What we're trying to do is pull everybody back to the big idea. Great advertising is great storytelling, starts with a great idea, and that's what really helps brands of any size.
So take us through a little bit of the process. So, although you didn't consider me a legend, what do I have to do? Do I sit down and answer questions? Do you scour my work? Do you what?
Yeah, a little, 100%. Yeah, we did this actually. Cheryl was the first legend. We sort of interviewed her, but we also used AI to do the process. So instead of Cheryl having to fill out a form or answer a ton of questions, we built an AI legend agent that will go out. And there's enough, with most of our legends, there's enough written about these folks. They've won all these awards. They've done all this iconic work. It's not hard for the AI to pull that together, as well as if they have portfolio websites or an agency that they're active in, it can pull that in. So that process, I think, when we did yours, Jimmy, it probably took about 5 minutes to get a starting point. But one that's really nice about it is, as a legend, of course, you don't want to just take what the AI said. You want to get creative on your own persona. And that's what's been really neat to see. The way that, as a creative, you can tailor the way your persona does the work for you is fascinating. And that's a big part of the plan.
No. Only 5 minutes for you, Jimmy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I did want to say this. We had to trick Bonin to see the demo because we've been trying to get Bonin for like 3-4 months. If anybody knows Triple B, as I call him, he's hard to track down. So we tricked him into being our moderator so we could show him the demo and now sign him up to be a legend.
There you go.
It was all for you.
Sadly, okay, look, Cheryl.
Yes.
What? I'm coming back to you, Jimmy. But so when they first approached you, so you're the first one. Like, what goes through your mind, having spent your entire life?
It's exciting and it's terrifying,
right,
in my opinion, which is what I think AI is right now. Right. You can either get on that horse and try and ride it, or you run the other way. I think is what happens to people. But I've learned that collaboration with AI, there's got to be the human being. I think everybody now really agrees with that. The human is in charge, and we want to still make those emotional connections. We want to still look for that big idea, and I think that the way this is set up is the most creative way AI has ever been set up. I can't think of another way that I would feel comfortable with. It's hard. It is hard in a way to feel comfortable about it. I always tell people that AI works for me, which means it works with what I'm doing with it, and it's like an employee. It's a tool, and you can take it and do what you want, and take what you want out of it. But this concept of how this is working with these personas, I think is going to really take things to the next level, and I hope we're going to see some absolutely amazing creativity coming out of it. I think is going to be, and that's what I think the future of advertising is going to be about.
And when you talk to, let's say, contemporaries other than those that are on here, where do they sit?
Well, some people don't want anything to do with it. Let's be honest, we know that. And I think some people are very excited about it. And I think, they tread lightly to start with. I think once you start seeing some effect, and once you start seeing how this can work, I think people will feel differently. And I don't think it will get rid of our creativity. I think it can only take it further.
I'm going to tell a little story about that too. But Jimmy, so we did some work together. And
PC Richards.
Just recently, we did PC Richards, and we took the Stan Smith doc, and I called him up, and I said, you got 1 day to come back with 3 ideas. He's like, can I get a day and a half? I was like, no. 1 day, but not 5 minutes, 1 day. And first of all, the work that came back, you're just like, Jesus Christ, that's why this man is a legend. And we're just reading scripts. And there's the one script that's out now. And it was, you got to try to step back and picture it in your mind a little bit because of what he was doing. And it was taking a mattress spot and transforming mattress. Because if you think mattress spots are all about, right now, prices and is it cool on one side, is it da-da-da. But the reality is there's no emotional. And people don't buy they buy on emotion at the end of the day, right? You've seen all the studies. The people will tell you I don't want to win awards, but those brands that win awards actually have higher elasticity, greater growth value. It's that emotional factor that if you can find it. He found this emotional factor, and the spot is Stan smacking mattresses through the city for P.C. Richards, which is, big on the East Coast, and it's set to the Dido song that's "Thank You for the Best Day of My Life." And when you watch this spot, you feel like, wow, sleep is transformational. But the work you guys did on AI, so as a creative, how has it expanded your toolbox?
I am a big proponent of procrastination. This cuts it out. It eliminates it. It comes up with ideas just like that. And whether I'm going to use those and expand that, or that's a good place to jump off of, and it gets the juices rolling. But I also believe that it would not have come up with Nike Freestyle. I like to think. It would not have come up with the one that Vince did, the ostrich, for Samsung, and so on and so forth. So, pardon me?
Or Dove.
Or Dove Real Beauty. I think it'll come up with stuff. It'll take all of that we've done, and it'll come up with ideas that are an somebody say that word.
Amalgamation.
Of a distilled of all that. So it will be new in that vein. But as a godly Jesus guy who believes that my Heavenly Father comes up with the stuff, it's not going to come up with a guy jumping out of a plane. I don't think it would suggest a guy jumping out of a plane with no parachute, no wingsuit. But at the same time, what Steve has done, that's the way I came into it. And what Steve has done, I said, this is a little more human than I thought. If you guys play on it and jump on there, you go, well, shit, that's pretty damn good. That's it. So I think it's going to, what Cheryl was saying, I think it's going to make us as creatives who get back to the business of being creative. Because if you watch a lot of the work that's out there, and I'll shut up, if you watch a lot of the work, it just looks the same, right? When you guys are watching ads and seeing ads, they're the same. This is going to give you different because it's a combination of everything that folks have done over their careers, and it's going to push you to be even better at what you do. So I got nothing but love.
Do you think it's going to, because we talk a lot about these big ideas. I think it may help come up with big ideas, but I think we'll have to execute them too. So that's where I look at the collaboration with AI.
Well, it's got that. This is what I'm saying. It's going to, for the greats, it's going to have that human element. Or we were just talking to Vince. Why did you have that shadow with the ostrich and didn't show the ostrich flying? You showed the shadow. That's a human touch. There's they say God is in the details.
I got two stories. I got to choose this one. I don't want to, but I want to tell a different one. But anyway, to that point, if anybody's out there and they watched AlphaGo. So AlphaGo was about the first Google AI being trained to play Go. So I'll go real quick. So it beats the European master. The European master's like, I can't believe what happened. So they said, no, train it to go play the world champion. And the world champion, everybody's saying, oh, there's no way it's going to win. No way it's going to win. He has his daughter with him. First game, wiped out. And it's crazy because the guy is trying to read the other guy, but he can't because the guy's just playing the move that the computer's telling him to play. Second, wiped out. But in the second game, the computer plays this move called the God move, since you brought up God. The God move. Now, I know that's not accurate. And what it is the computer realized, you know what? If I play this move, I actually win by one. Now, Go is about territory. So humans are like, I want everything. The computer was like, a win's a win. Third game, wiped him out. Fourth game, he wins. You're like, yes, he has a shot. We can do this. Humanity matters. Fifth game, wiped him out. But what happened was the game of Go was forever changed because humans said, wow, now I can just win by one. And so it changed us in how we think, and it's that collaboration which I think is really what we're going, it's really just pointing us at us. One more. So I went, and a friend of mine who was a photographer made me sit down. He was like, and this is why I think it's people, not product, but made me sit down and watch him create. And it was interesting, and we created a video in 4 minutes. I don't have time to tell the whole, 4 hours, I don't have time to tell the whole thing, but it's crazy. I'll show it afterwards. But all he kept saying, and this is a very well-established photographer, he's like, it's a true collaborator with me in a way that I've never had before.
That's it.
And that, hearing you say that and hearing that, like, that's the interesting thing. And it comes up with ideas that there's a low likelihood that other people will come up with, because it's just running a bunch of different thoughts. And like we found a story that was that animals were put on trial for crimes against humans in the 1800s. So we told this whole video story. And one of the things I wanted to, would you ever, at the end, it's like, and the script was all written by ChatGPT, like everything was done, all AI. But at the end, I wanted to do something where, what could an animal do to you that you would put on trial? And I was like, okay, what if a bear pissed in my pool, right? So boom, so that was where I went. The AI couldn't get it, and so eventually it was a bear puking in the pool, but it was like, that's much better, because now I don't got to put a bear pissing in the pool on my LinkedIn. So, so it worked out, but it was interesting, that collaboration. So just to come back to you guys, and I want to run down with one last question as we barrel through kind of time, but when you guys spend time thinking about how people are using this, do they see the power of the fact that it's not just a model that's been run across the open web, that you're actually getting the mind?
That's a great setup to my next slide.
Okay, there we go.
Which is this. I mean, this is our true north, our little mantra. We believe in the irreplaceable power of human creativity in AI. We are building the future of advertising the only way it should be built, with human intelligence, human emotion, and legendary human ideas. We are Ad Legends.
And I'll add to that, judging by the legends that have joined our platform, every single one of them had a chance to witness the platform live in a demo. And every single one of them signed on as a result. And it was just amazing, because they've seen this type of creative their whole careers. And this is the thing they wish they had, because they had to make their brains hurt to do it, or procrastinated and then made their brains hurt. So it really is amazing what we've been able to do. And like I said, we're just getting going. And I don't know, Cheryl, you want to add any thoughts to that?
Yeah, I mean, we did talk a little bit about the big idea, and I don't probably have time to read this, but
read it.
Really?
Oh, you got 2
Okay.
minutes.
So I think, what we're looking for, the big idea, and you go, what's a big idea? I mean, I flew in on United today, and it was about 3 times everybody was talking about the friendly skies, the people that were taking care of you, the video, the whatever. I mean, that friendly skies has been around for like 60 years, I mean? So I worked on Altoids with Stefan, and Curiously Strong Mints came to my office. Nobody even knew what it was, and it became the billion-dollar brand, the largest mint in the world. So this just says, and I wrote this a little bit with AI and a little bit with me, big ideas are not decoration. They're not an afterthought. A big idea is the heartbeat of every brand that's ever mattered, and every brand that ever will. Without a big idea, a brand is just a name, a product, a box on a shelf. With a big idea, a brand comes alive. It tells a story, it sparks a feeling, it earns a place in our hearts, our minds, our lives, and our culture. Big ideas are how brands break through the noise and turn heads. It's how they adapt when the world shifts, and how they reinvent themselves when others fade away. A big idea is the courage to be different, the imagination to see what others don't, and the boldness to say, in a way only you can say. The greatest brands ever were not built on formulas alone. They were built on vision, on daring, on big ideas that made people stop, smile, cry, share, and believe. And that will never change. Technology will evolve, platforms will come and go, but human, raw, fearless creativity will always be the spark that transforms a brand from ordinary to unforgettable. Because at the end of the day, brands are not built by algorithms or balance sheets. They're built on ideas, big ideas. These big ideas will always be the lifeblood of brand success, the eternal force that transforms brands into legends. Without this differentiation, brands will fade away. However, with the creativity of a big idea, a brand, unlike a person, may just live forever.
You know, first of all, that was beautiful. And I think that, you know, it's funny because I left the agency world because I thought clients were too dumb to buy good work, so I became a dumb client. But really what I realized I became was because of working on a brand like, or across the PepsiCo portfolio, I had a chance to work with legends and see big ideas. And I think that, to your point, what you just read, very few people understand the power of a brand concept. They just don't really get how transformative it is. I'm going to leave you with the last word because we got to shut up. He wants you to scan the QR code, of course. That's why it's up there. What do I get free? Tell the people. No, okay, but go ahead. So when you think about big idea, what is going to be the journey now to the big idea? This and you, or this and
It's a combination. One person we forgot to mention that's on the team is Donna Weinheim. And Donna, where's the beef, right? That she did that. You have an opportunity to work with legendary. I'm looking up. I remember looking at what all of us do. Where's the beef? Watching that stuff. So to be able to be Ford, Nike, or a mom and pop joint, PC Richard and Son, although y'all need to keep coming to me. But
I thought we were going to AI Legends. I don't know, why do I need you now? I'm scanning the QR code. I'm good, dog.
You can go to AdLegends, and that's the part you guys forgot to say. When they created this, they were thinking about the little guy or girl who's got this small mom and pop shop who can't afford BBDO, who can't afford Wyden and Kennedy. Now everybody, it completely levels the playing field.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing that's very important to us. We want to make ourselves free to nonprofits, and if you sign up for our business plan, you get to pick the nonprofit you want to choose. But we already chose ours this week, and it's Glamour Gals. They're in the audience there. They're going to be our first official nonprofit.
What do they do? And then we got to go?
Glamour Gals is, well, you could describe, they basically provide young women that go help elderly not feel so lonely. They're an organization that's set up to do that.
All right.
I hope I said it right.
I love that. What about Glamour Guys next? All right, let's give a huge round of applause.